Hey guys, my name is Tito. I make videos on personal finance on my other channel. On this channel, I talk about other things like today when I'll be looking at the nominees for the 2025 Africa Magic Viewers Choice Awards, the AMVCAs, the 11th edition. Nominations were announced on Sunday night. And I'm going to get into it because that's what we do around here. We look at who we think deserved to get nominated and such and such. Anyway, right off the bat, let me say that I was surprised that a couple of films did not get nominated this year, particularly with Difficulty Comes Ease, which I really enjoyed. I wish Uzoamaka Aniuno got nominated for Best Actress for that. And I can't remember the director's name, but I wish the director got nominated for that film as well. I also was surprised that Ajoshepo, which was pretty much my favorite movie of 2024 from Nollywood, did not get nominated. Perhaps they didn't even submit. Come to think of it, were any of Kayode Kasum's movies or movies that he directed submitted this year? I don't know. But I'm assuming they did not submit. And I was a bit bummed by that because I wish Itele was nominated for his role in that film. It is what it is. Anyway, let's dive into the actual nominations this year, starting with Best Actor. And the nominees are Femi Adebayo for Seven Doors. I'm happy about that too. I was expecting that. I'm happy about that. Gideon Okeke for Tokumbo. Buchi Franklin for The Weekend. Okay. Stanze for Suspicion. Let me finish before I talk, yeah? Adedimeji Lateef for Lisabi, The Uprising. Just give me a moment, guys. Lisabi, The Uprising. I have to be honest, every time I saw Lisabi as one of the nominees, I was like, they submitted Lisabi for AMVCAs to be, for awards. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to be pouring. Whoops! Come on now. Lisabi. Adedimeji Lateef. Adedimeji Lateef is a fantastic actor any day, anytime. Lisabi, The Uprising. Cheers. Femi Branch, House of Ga. Tapelo Makoena for Skeleton Coast. Then Bimbo Manuel for Princess on a Hill. Very tough category. Femi Adebayo for Seven Doors, a crowd favorite in my opinion. Buchi Franklin was good in The Weekend. Femi Branch was really good in House of Ga. I think it will be between Femi Branch and Femi Adebayo. I wouldn't be surprised if Femi Adebayo wins because that was such a fantastic performance. I would like Femi Branch to win because Femi Branch is a remarkable actor. I'd want him to win, not necessarily for House of Ga, but for other marvelous performances he's had through the years. If Femi Adebayo wins, honestly, I'll also be happy about that. And dare I say he's my favorite in this category. Moving on to Best Actress. We have Chioma Chukwuka for Seven Doors. Another one I was hoping would, be nominated, or another performance I was hoping would get nominated, and I'm very happy to see her being nominated for that. Bubemi Ejeye for Farmer's Bride. Uzoamaka Onoha for Agemo. Uche Montana for Thin Line. Hilda Dokubo for the Wives on Strike 3, The Uprising. Bimbo Ademoye for Anikulapo, Rise of the Spectre. And Uzoamaka Aniuno for Phoenix Fury. Now, Agemo and Phoenix Fury, I believe both of them showed at AFRIF. Long story short, I didn't see Agemo or Phoenix Fury, but I heard amazing things about both those films, and I'm pained that I didn't see them. People were really moved by both Uzoamaka's performances because you have Uzoamaka Onoha in Agemo and Uzoamaka Aniuno in Phoenix Fury. People really raved about Uzoamaka Onoha's performance in Agemo. Honestly, if she wins, I'll be very happy for her because both Uzoamakas are fantastic actresses. If Uzoamaka Aniuno was nominated for With Difficulty Comes Ease, she would have been my favorite in this category, or that performance would have been my favorite in this category. But I love Chioma Chukwuka like many of us do, and her performance in Seven Doors was just outstanding. And she may even get a standing ovation if she wins. Anyway, let's move on to Best Supporting Actor. For Best Supporting Actor, we have Gabriel Afolayan for Inside Life. Fair. Adebayo Adebowale, aka Mr. Macaroni, for Lisabi, The Uprising. Ow. Aliu Gafar for Seven Doors. Femi Jacobs for Freedom Way. RMD for Christmas in Lagos. Okay. Uzo Arukwe for Suspicion. Micah Folari for House of Ga, and Efa Iwara for Princess on a Hill. Gabriel Afolayan was actually really good in Clarence Peters' Inside Life. He wasn't on screen for long in that film. If you've seen, it's not even a film, it's a limited series. If you've seen it, then you'll know. But for the short time that he was in the series, he was very convincing and he was really good. It was a very good performance. Same with Meg Otanwa, who was also nominated for Best Supporting Actress, which I'll get to. She was also brilliant. Funny enough, both of them shared the majority of their scenes in that film together, right? So Gabriel Afolayan, really good. However, I wouldn't give him, if it was left to me, I don't think I'd give him the award. Who would I give the award? Actually, maybe I would give him the award. Because I haven't seen Freedom Way. Freedom Way is another film that got lots of buzz. It showed at the Toronto International Film Festival last year. Everyone who has seen Freedom Way has said really magnificent things about it, but unfortunately, Freedom Way hasn't been released to the general public, either through streaming or cinema. So most of us haven't seen it, but we've heard good things about it. RMD for Christmas in Lagos. It was a good performance, but I don't know if I'd give him the award for that. Uzo Arukwe in Suspicion. No. Micah Folari, good as well. I don't know. I think Gabriel Afolayan may just take the award for Best Supporting Actor. Moving on to Best Supporting Actress. Meg Otanwa, she for Inside Life. I have a soft spot for Meg. We are birthday mates. She's also February 14th. And she also speaks French. Tina Mba for Suspicion. Tina Mba is a fantastic actress, don't get me wrong. She's an in-demand actress in Nollywood. But for her role in Suspicion, wow. Anyway, and I say wow because this thing is really, I don't drink, so the few times that I do, it doesn't take much to get me buzzing. Anyway, Ireti Doyle for All's Fair in Love. Ireti Doyle for All's Fair in Love. All's Fair in Love, Ireti Doyle. Oh, that was a bad idea. Wow. Wow. Where was I? Ireti Doyle. Fantastic actress. Anytime, any day. Loved her in Madame Coin Coin. She was nominated for that. She should have won that. She should not have been nominated for this. For All's Fair in Love. My candid opinion. Moving on. Enidima Okoje for Skeleton Coast. Mercy Aigbe for Farmer's Bride. Omoni Oboli, Wives on Strike, The Uprising. And Darasimi Nandi for Aburo. Darasimi is a great actress. Brilliant kid. Fantastic actress. But I saw Aburo. Anyway. Who I want to win the award for Best Supporting Actress, hands down, Mercy Aigbe. When we saw Farmer's Bride at the premiere, she had a scene. People clapped. It takes a lot for people to clap after your scene at a movie premiere. I've gone for a number of premieres. That doesn't happen very often. It was a memorable moment. And her performance in that film, brilliant. I want her to win Best Supporting Actress. I love Meg Otanwa, as I mentioned earlier. But I think Mercy Aigbe deserves the award for Best Supporting Actress. Oh my goodness. Taking that straight up shot was not a great idea. Wow. Best Director. We have Robert O. Peters for Skeleton Coast. Norman Mackey for Nkabi. Bolanle Austin Peters for House of Ga. Awam Akpa for The Man Died, Daniel Uriahi for The Weekend, and Femi Adebayo Tijani, and Tope Adebayo for Seven Doors. Daniel Uriahi has had an amazing year. Well, last year anyway. He released The Weekend, and he also released A Ghetto Love Story. Magnificent director. If you haven't heard about him, look him up. House of God, Bolanle Austin Peters. I don't think so. I don't know. Awam Akpa for The Man Died. I'm really pained that I missed. The Man Died, I think, is a book by Wole Soyinka, and I think the film is about Wole Soyinka's life, a time in his life, right? And I think Wale Ojo played Wole Soyinka in the film, and I think the movie came out in cinemas, but very briefly, it was on my radar. I wanted to see it, but I don't know. Perhaps it didn't stay long in the cinemas. Anyway, I think it's going to be between Daniel Uriahi and maybe Bolanle Austin Peters and Femi Adebayo and Adebayo Tijani and Tope Adebayo for Seven Doors. Best movie: Christmas in Lagos, Farmer's Bride, Freedom Way, House of God, Inkabi, Lisabi, The Uprising. Skeleton Coast and Suspicion. Best movie? Best movie. Are we talking in terms of like the overall enjoyability of the movie? Or what? How do you categorize or classify what makes a movie the best movie of a year? I mean, Christmas in Lagos was really nice vibes, right? I mean, production design was good, it was colorful, it had nice vibes, it was entertaining. Farmer's Bride was a really good film, really enjoyable. If we're talking in terms of entertainment overall, I'd have to give it to Farmer's Bride. Farmer's Bride for me was the most entertaining movie in this list of films. Now let's move on to Best Series Scripted. The nominees are Clarence Peters for Inside Life, Femi Adebayo for Seven Doors, Princess on a Hill, Chetam and Roses and Ivy. No brainer for me, Biodun Stephen. If Biodun Stephen doesn't win, or if Roses and Ivy, more specifically, doesn't take home an award on award night, people will protest in the streets because people really loved Roses and Ivy. And I think Best Series Scripted is a public voting category. So if it's up to the public, then I really do think Biodun Stephen will win for Roses and Ivy. I'm almost willing to put money down on that. Wait. Seven Doors is in that category. And people really loved Seven Doors. And people really love Femi Adebayo and all the actors in that film. So it will be between Seven Doors and Biodun Stephen for Roses and Ivy. But I want Biodun Stephen to win for Roses and Ivy. And I think she just might. Moving on to Best Indigenous Language, West Africa. And the nominees are Anikulapo, Kaka, Lisabi, The Uprising. God in heaven. My Mataba and Seven Doors. Best Indigenous Language, West Africa. I think Seven Doors will win this one. Moving on, Best Digital Content Creator. Lord have mercy. Let me grab water. Because this room is spinning, yo. Best Digital Content Creator. Jide Pounds Ibitoye. Taoma. Risky. Arike Dimples, right? Who is Sarah Elozonam and Iyo Prosper. Didn't Elozonam win last year? I think he did. Arike Dimples has had a really good year on YouTube, and movies she's had come out in recent months are really good. I've reviewed You May Only Kiss the Bride, that was good. But more importantly, there's something about The Briggs, which I was really pained wasn't nominated this year. I think because it came out after the whole, deadline for submissions. I think something about The Briggs would have been nice for Best Production Design and for Best Costume. The costuming in that movie was fantastic, and so was the production design. I was pained that it didn't get nominated. But Best Digital Creator, Taoma, I don't know if Taoma had a really great year last year. Arike, she had a good year, but I can't really pinpoint any particular content that she's done that I feel is like award worthy. Maybe Alozuna will win a second year in a row. Who knows? Moving on to Best Art Direction. We have Kunle Afolayan and Soliu Quadri Afolabi for Anikulapo. Joy Kadiri for Christmas in Lagos. Best Art Direction. Fair. Daniel Okoy for Farmer's Bride. Also a good choice. Tunji Afolayan for Seven Doors. Theo Lawson for The Man Died. And Soliu Badu Nautical and Ayomo Yakub for Lisabi The Uprising. I was really surprised that Lisabi submitted for AMVCAs. I was really surprised. And I was really surprised that he got so many nominations. Best Art Direction. It will be between Farmer's Bride and Christmas in Lagos, in my humble opinion. Moving on to Best Makeup. We have Anikulapo. God. We also have Lisabi, The Uprising. Wow. We also have Seven Doors. Fun fact, Hakeem Onilogbo was nominated for all three films. For Anikulapo, Lisabi, and Seven Doors. So, one man is nominated 3 times. We also have Udosu Winifred for Inside Life. Tracy Izoge Adeleke Tuluashe Megori for Suspicion. Best Makeup. Stanton's makeup when he aged towards the end of the film, people complained about that. It wasn't the best makeup. So why is it nominated for Best Makeup? Suspicion wasn't a bad film. It could have been better. There were too many loose ends. The writing could have been better. And it hurts me that I did not enjoy Suspicion because the director is a really nice guy and he had vision and he had ideas, and I liked the action sequences. There were things to actually, that scene where Stan does the 180 in the car and he's like, I'm on my way. Memorable scene, money shot. There are actually really good things about Suspicion, but there are just so many loose ends in my opinion. I wasn't a fan of the makeup in Suspicion, but moving on. Adejide Uluwatosi Mercy for Farmer's Bride. I don't know, the makeup in Farmer's Bride didn't really stand out to me. I think Hakeem Onilogbo will win for any one of the 3 films that he's nominated in this category. Best Costume Design. We have Toyin Ogundeji for Anikulapo, Bolanle Austin Peters, Yolanda Okereke, and Juliana Dele, is it Dele or Dede? And Gloria Ovu for House of Ga. Oluwatoyin Balogun Oyebode Adebimpe Adedimeji for Lisabi. Oh gosh. No, I've already said that. Okpeyemi Shogoke for Phoenix Fury. And Adedamola Adeyemi for Christmas in Lagos. Best Costume Design. I'll give it to Christmas in Lagos. Finally, Best Score. And I hope Lisabi is not in Best Score. Woo! Skoli. Oh, Inkabi. And we have Freedom Way. We have Seven Doors. And we have 2 songs from Soft Love. And finally, we have Skeleton Coast. Oh boy, excuse me. Who do I think will win for Best Score? Which apparently is a new category. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to music in our Nollywood films, but I do remember Seven Doors had some good music, and I do remember looking at the end credits and seeing Tolu Obanro's name. So I do think Tolu Obanro will win in this category. Based on that, I think Seven Doors should win in this category. So there it is, guys. Some of the main categories at this year's, or nominated for this year's AMVCAs. Last year, 2024, wasn't a fantastic year for film and TV from Nollywood, in my opinion. But there are some good projects that were nominated, like Seven Doors, like Christmas in Lagos, like Farmer's Bride, right? I hope all those projects and the people who are nominated for those projects, I hope they do well on awards night. But like I did mention at the beginning of this video, there are some projects that I wish were nominated. I don't know. We'll see how things go. I've told you who I think will win. I've told you who some of my favorites are. Let me know what some of your favorites are in the comment section down below. Also, let me know what projects, what films or series or actors or actresses you felt or you feel were snubbed or should have been nominated this year. Thanks for watching, guys. I will be on Arise TV. Well, by the time this comes out, I would have been on Arise TV. It would have aired and everything. But I will be on Arise TV this week to talk about some of these nominees for the AMVCAs. And I hope I'm invited to the AMVCAs this year, which will be happening in May. Thank you guys so much for watching. This wasn't the best idea, but I hope it makes for good television or good content. Because, boy, do remember to like and subscribe to this channel by clicking on the like button underneath the video, and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the black subscribe button. On this channel, I don't just do Nollywood movie reviews. I also talk about other things. Check out some of the past reviews I've done. You can click the card in the corner of the screen. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.